Back here in Ann Arbor, bottom of the 5th inning. We gave you our trivia question earlier. The last Michigan pitcher to throw a 9-inning complete game before the Connor O'Halloran effort last week against Michigan State. Cameron Weston did it about 2 years ago. It was a heck of an effort by both Weston in 2021 and O'Halloran last weekend against rival Michigan State, as Gabe Sotrace leads things off for the Wolverines. Of course, Weston, a Baltimore Orioles farmhand. He was an 8th rounder last year. Has not yet pitched this season, but started his career last year with 5 solid outings in Delmarva in the Carolina League. High, deep, but foul from Sotrace. 1-2 the count. There have been several Wolverines who have had home run distance on some foul balls. Of course, Tito Flores had the solo shot back in the second, but Michigan's had some hard hit contact against Jaron Watts-Brown. Towards center field, fairly deep, but within range for Earhart. 1 away.
And as you mentioned, we've seen Wolverines hit balls deep. That was on a fastball there that Sotrace was still out in front of. But for the most part, they've just been, I think, a little confused in their timing, trying to time up the fastball versus the different off-speed pitches that Watts-Brown has, and that's why he's been able to get them to pull a lot of balls foul. Now, of course, Wolverines came back from their first 2 deficits. We'll see if they can do it once again here in the 5th.
Yeah, each team scored in the 2nd and in the 3rd. Oklahoma State reclaimed the lead in the top half of this inning. Cody Jeffress over to second. Awkward slide by Holt, but he props himself up, and he throws out his fellow middle infielder, Cody Jeffress. Quickly 2 down here in the 5th. And that's noteworthy considering where Watts-Brown is from a pitch count standpoint. His next pitch coming up will be number 90. There's been some activity in that Oklahoma State bullpen, but if he can retire Ted Burton quickly after that nice play from Holt, maybe he can come back out for the 6th.
And of course, Watts-Brown wasn't able to get the shutdown inning in the 2nd or 3rd, but a good start for him here in the 5th, getting those first 2 quick outs.
High drive left field. Schubert racing back, looking up, turns around, watches it go. Ted Burton's 3 for 3, and Ted Burton ties it at 3 on a moonshot home run to left.
Yeah, of course, we've seen now Ted Burton hit that ball exactly where Tito Flores hit it in the 2nd inning, way out to left center field, right where that high wall slopes down, but wouldn't have mattered either way. That ball was way out of there once again, and the Wolverines for a 3rd time respond to a Cowboys run with one of their own.
And Jaron Watts-Brown has now given up 6 homers in his last 4 starts. Just 2 in his first 7, as Jonathan Kim puts a bunt down foul, trying to generate something for him after back-to-back strikeouts. And those 2 from Burton just moments ago and Flores in the 2nd, they were blasts. Kim coming in, hitting just shy of 400. He has been a star for this Michigan team. And he's got a hitter's count to work with here against Jaron Watts-Brown. Now 3-1.
Yeah, Kim getting ahead here now. Wolverines still looking for their first lead of the game. Obviously, 2 outs and no one on is a hard spot to do it. But if Kim is able to get on as he's up in the count, then if Jimmy Obertop still looking to find his groove, but we know at some point he's going to break out, and then Jack Van Remordel hitting over 300 after him. It's as good a spot as any in the lineup for a late 2-out rally if the Wolverines are able to pull one off.
Quick conversation there between the battery mates, Watts-Brown and Chase Atkinson. Watts Brown had 2 really solid seasons at Long Beach State before coming to Stillwater. Flared into right center field, and Jonathan Kim has himself a 2-out single. So Michigan maybe trying to come up with their first lead in this one. A 2-out homer by Burton, now a 2-out single from Kim.
And that was a good job by Kim after the first pitch strike, taking 3 balls, getting ahead in the count. Took advantage of that to get a hittable pitch and just lined the ball into right center field for a single. Now that brings up the cleanup hitter. Still looking for his second hit of the year. Would be a good time to get it.
Right on right matchup, and Obertop gazes at a strike. Yeah, Obertop missed almost the entire season before this weekend here with that elbow injury. Played the 3 games last weekend against Michigan State, went 1 for 12, and there was kind of an awkward swing and a miss. The catcher, Adkison, had to kind of box out Obertop to corral it before Kim could think about going to second. Once again, an early advantage for Watts Brown against Obertop, who chokes up on the bat a little bit, right-hand side. They're over to first base. Now, Obertop's a young man who thought about exiting the program when Eric Bakich left, but came back a couple of months later, liked the direction with head coach Tracy Smith. Now he's trying to be a great late season addition as he serves a single into center field. First and second with 2 down, and there is Jimmy Obertop's second hit.
Wolverines stringing base runners here. The game-tying homer by Burton, now back-to-back singles, and these have all been, if not necessarily hard hits, obviously moonshot by Burton, but still well-hit line drives that are finding places to fall in. Now gives Jack Van Remordel an opportunity with a runner in scoring position. He had that opportunity with 2 outs in the third, runners on second and third, and grounded out. Now he'll get a chance for redemption here to improve on his day, which has started 0 for 2 with the strikeout and that ground out in the third.
Rob Walton, the pitching coach, out there for the second time today. Jerron Watts Brown is at 99 pitches. That Oklahoma State bullpen was not really doing a whole lot to start this inning, which began with a fly out and a ground out pretty quickly. But Walton and the Cowboys are going to stick with their ace, Jerron Watts Brown, to face off with Jack Van Remordel, one of Michigan's best hitters. Tie game, 2 on, 2 down. Huge juncture here, and you figure for Watts Brown, probably his last batter no matter what the result.
Yeah, this next pitch is going to be number 100, so at this point he's just trying to get out of this inning and get through 5. If Van Remordel gets on, as you mentioned, probably would be the end of Watts Brown's day.
And that 100th pitch, a well-placed strike. Van Remordel having a breakout season. Someone who left the program and then came back. Check swing, ball in the dirt. It is strike 2. Throw over to third as Kim's able to get there. He almost overslid the bag. And Wolfert, had he stayed locked in on Kim, might have been able to tag him out.
The aggressive base running there, of course, almost backfired as Kim almost lost the bag. I think, so we'll see here. May have briefly came off the bag. Didn't have, of course, the sustained tag over there that coaches like to see. But still another unsuccessful check swing by Van Remordel as Watts Brown has been very good at getting chases on pitches well out of the zone.
The 0-2 out toward right center field, but Binge has a beat on it. He puts it away, and Michigan threatens but cannot take its first lead of the afternoon. But Ted Burton's solo shot with 2 outs does tie things up. We're even at 3 heading to the 6th here on Big Ten Plus.